It is December 10th, and we are in San Diego, joined by Lindsey Adler, writer for The Athletic, covering your New York Yankees. So let's do it. Let's talk Yanks. Now we all get to listen to the song.
Great.
So that way I don't have to edit. If you want to sing along, you can.
I'll think about it.
Okay.
Weekly awards, stat lines, steaming hot takes. Your Yankees news with these two fine dudes.
And Lindsey.
Time for Talkin Yanks.
Yeah, that's good.
Talkin Yanks with old John Boy and Jake.
And Lindsey.
Talkin Yanks with old John Boy and Jake.
And Lindsey.
I like the remix.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think that's now we
It's
have to do
really
that for every
thoughtful.
On
guest.
Spotify.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Talkin Yanks. My name is John Boy, and I'm sitting here with my co-host, Jake, and we are joined by Lindsey Adler. Second time on the show, but this is first time we ambushed you in the bleachers of spring training.
Yeah.
That's true.
Didn't really know each other yet.
That's true.
Now we're all best friends.
What's changed
That's
then till now?
You guys went Mega Vi.
Mega Vi?
Mega
Okay.
Vi.
Good
I'm
stuff.
feeling better. Thank you.
I've noticed Jake's sense of style. It's really grown on me.
You like the belly shirts?
I appreciate that particular brand of dumbassery. So
Thank
it's
you.
like
Thank you. Put that on the
it
tombstone.
fits within my worldview.
Put that in the tombstone.
All right, we have to do like intros and stuff, but I think we don't, because if you're a Yankees fan, you should know who Lindsey
Yes.
is, and if you listen to this, you know who Jake and I are, so get over it. If you don't read her articles on The Athletic, you're dumb. They are the insight. So this is what Jake described you as. You don't have to face the camera if you don't want. It's okay, but it's up to you.
don't know.
This is Jake described your coverage of the Yankees to Bill
Yeah.
as what we do in a more professional way. Like, you cover the personalities and the person that is the Yankee player, and you do stats as well. Like, you do offer that insight as well, but you much rather gravitate towards like the story and the personality, which is what we do. You just are more professional because we're idiots. Would you agree with that?
I would say that I am also an idiot, but
Okay.
it
Okay.
does
Noted.
get a little bit more polished on the page.
You're
I
gonna-
can- I
yeah.
can accept that.
Do you have an editor?
Yes.
See, we don't have editors.
She's great. She's
Okay.
fantastic.
Just
You're
tell
gonna-
her to listen to our stuff and then voice over all the dumb stuff we say.
Oh,
Okay,
that'd be
that's
perfect.
perfect.
That'd be great.
Great. I'm sure she would love a freelance assignment on top of editing my 14,000 word stories on minor league coaches.
So you've 2 full seasons under your belt covering the Yankees now?
Yes.
How does the second year compare to the first year?
How are you feeling?
Are you excited for the third?
I actually am.
Okay.
I would describe it as being very uncomfortable all year and a huge learning curve, but then at the end of the year, feeling comfortable going into next year. I feel like I got a lot of the rust and rookie issues.
You know what's been
last year.
nice is that since you've joined, a couple people have come and gone on the beat. So you're like, if you'd stayed the newest person for the 2 seasons, maybe you would have always felt like the newest person. But you're a veteran compared to some people.
That's true. I mean, The Athletic employs like a handful of beat writers who are 22, 23, and I'm like, okay, now
Yeah.
I'm the old one.
Yeah.
That.
Coley came and left.
Cole's
R.I.P.
gone.
How nice has that been since Coley Harvey has left?
It's been just a relief.
Breath of fresh air.
It's been a relief.
What a just venomous, angry guy he is.
Never
There's
smiling.
There's just so much more adoration available for the rest of us now.
Yes.
You know,
Yes. What's going on in winter meetings? How come you haven't announced Cole yet? Or that's what Twitter's.
Yeah.
Stop. People suck, huh?
no, people are fine. I don't
Okay.
care. I don't
Nice.
care. I mean, I think the announce Cole thing is funny. It's probably going to drive me nuts.
Why don't you mute it? Would you do that, or you like it?
No,
you like it a
it's
little
like whatever. Like Yankees fans really want this player. I don't.
Do you have any words
crap.
muted on Twitter?
bit? Yeah, I was gonna ask that.
I have a lot. Like
Oh, wow.
anytime something like the Paula Dean racist butter thing. Like
Sure.
I've had Paula Dean muted for 4 years now.
Nice.
Anything there's some, big stupid viral story or viral tweet that people go crazy about, I'm just tired of seeing people
Instant.
talk about it. It's gone. And so it's sometimes I will tweet something and then I don't even see my own tweet because I've tweeted something
Oh.
unmuted. But no,
That's funny.
I have not muted announce Cole yet.
Yeah.
Want
I
to hear my muted words?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. I always like going through this to remember. MAGA, Raw 25, aged well, conservative, gun control, Hillary, liberal, lineup prediction, Trump, Weep, White House, WWE. I don't use Twitter for politics at all. Like that's I do that.
Or WWE.
Or WWE. Dude, those people blow up your fucking feed.
Yeah,
That's true.
It's like
Good stuff.
And then
Pure
yeah,
content.
I absolutely can't control how much I hate when people say this aged well, because people have lost what that actually means, and I hate when people say just weep. So that's mostly the Dodgers fans. Just that's all they would say to me.
I have Tide Pods muted. Also, Union Pool. I don't know when one of the worst young people bars in New York would have gotten to the point where I had to mute Union Pool, but and given that it was before Tide Pods, but after Yanni and Laurel, I would assume it was maybe like 2 years ago. So yeah.
Okay, you have Yanni and Laurel muted.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you really hate the
Viral trends.
the come and go stuff.
No, I like it.
But you enjoy
I
it.
love memes.
Yeah, but they're short shelf life. Some people don't get it.
What are some of your elite memes? Like
Elite memes.
I know people are doing end of the decade stuff. Like
Yeah,
what's
but like
when you think of like a good meme, what pops up in your head?
basically any like modification on a drill tweet.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
like I don't know if anyone's familiar with the one that's like, you know, like candles, $3,500, food, $7 million. Can someone please help me budget? My family is dying. Like it is very tempting just to do that for free agent stuff instead of like actually writing
Right.
a like Yankees payroll analysis. I could just do a drill parody tweet because my brain is broken.
I have a prediction. I think you're going to mute Slapdick in 2 weeks.
I know, but I have been greeting every single person here with hello slapdick.
Yeah, and
Every single person.
I've had to tell you
good.
multiple times, do not appropriate my culture. So
The slapdick community is
Yeah.
very offended.
we're it's been a bad couple days for us.
It's been a rough one. It's been a rough one.
Rough 30 years.
Was your favorite piece of content from 2019 when Jake modeled in the belly shirt
No,
in the suites?
no.
Why'd you say
really
no
was-
so quickly? It felt like you didn't think
it just
about it
really
as
was
much.
not.
Okay.
It's a thing. I
Okay.
don't have anything more to add, but it was not.
Hot takes early on in the
Yeah,
episode.
we're just getting it out of the way.
Do we want to talk Yankee stuff or should we just now?
We can talk Yankee stuff. They haven't done much lately.
Do you the Cole stuff, like, it sucks that we're exhausted, but we also have the fan side that, like, we don't want to get too excited, but blah, blah, blah. I mean, doesn't it make a ton of sense? I mean, like, if there's a hole on this team, I mean, if you go around the roster, there really isn't one. Like, people complain about first base, and, like, Luke Voit was really good, and Mike Ford is an option. If that's the worst...
Slide DJ over and put someone there.
If that's the worst hole on your team, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, it's been like kind of a weird thing to try to write about because there's really nothing to say about Garrett Cole. He is extremely good.
Right.
He is the guy who you should give that contract to, and there's really nothing else to say. You know, like in that process, if they do sign Garrett Cole and announce Cole, they'll have to move. The 40 man is currently at 40.
Right.
Yeah.
So they'll have
But
to
they
move,
have a lot of young guys on there.
they'll have to move someone, and I think it's so interesting how they're like cycle through the depth. Last year like
was nuts.
Mike Ford is a much better trade chip now than he was
Right.
12 months ago. So it's kind of hard to think about like what really to say about it until it happens because it obviously everything that happens with the Yankees offseason, kind of flows from
Cole
Cole's
down.
decision.
Even Gardner and...
Yeah.
You think Didi's coming back?
I don't know. I would be really interested if he got a multi-year deal.
I heard...
somewhere.
I don't know who we talked to, and I don't know if it was on the record, off the record. So from my own perception,
Cool.
Didi seemed a little... Well, his final interview with the beat was... I don't know what's the word for touchy or like kind of
Melancholy.
no, standoffish is what I would say.
I don't know what that word means.
Perturbed.
Yeah.
But like I noticed that the last couple months, like he wasn't fun, silly Didi. It felt like when he came back from Tommy John, he was a different vibe. Did it feel like maybe a new scene is like kind of ready for him?
No, I don't think so. I think it was probably a tough year for Didi. I didn't talk to him, a whole lot about that side of things. he really does have very interesting perspectives on, just hitting philosophy and whatnot. But I mean, I think it was probably frustrating. It's his free agent year. He comes back from injury. He had been itching to get out of Tampa and come back.
Yeah.
And
We saw him at spring training, and he was like the belle of the ball. He was throwing, he was hopping field to field, and I don't know. It was reported that like, yeah, he's not going to be back till midseason, and then it was kind of like at spring training he looked as active as everyone.
He was really ready to get out there during spring training, but I don't know. I mean, of all of the guys, I mean, look at Dylan Betances' situation. It's just like it's just the worst imaginable situation.
It's sad.
And it's hard to project what his future curve is going to look like coming out of this and these injuries.
Right.
But Didi, I think it's just kind of like this shit takes a long time to deal with.
Yeah.
And he wasn't like awful. Like, I mean, his power numbers were still there, but like the guy missed spring training half a season, and like the pop was still there if you want to do juice balls and stuff. But like, I don't know, he wasn't as bad as a lot of people like to depict, especially for a shortstop.
If I'm a team that has like a very obvious need at shortstop, and the Yankees obviously have an option in Gleyber Torres, they can use Tyro Estrada as a backup. Big Tyro stands over here.
Yes.
But if I'm a team that like needs a starting shortstop for sure, like Didi in a multi-year deal, 2 to 3 years is super attractive to me. Seeing how Didi plays and knowing how he approaches the game, like I don't really think that there's going to be any real long-term concern about his production. He worked his ass off to get back this year, and he played hard. So
the Reds.
It would be interesting.
Milwaukee.
Yeah, the Brewers.
It would be so fun to watch in that ballpark in Cincinnati.
And do you think he'd look good in red? I think every time I picture someone in a Reds uniform, I go, gross.
Nippon ham steaks.
It's kind of a tough shade for a lot of people.
I was terrible with red just because my acne was so bad as a youth. So I was like wearing a white and red shirt, and I've got this blemish on my face, and it's like, oh.
I have a red face.
Yeah, no, I have very red undertones.
Yeah.
So it's a tough sell, Orange, red, just not really.
Don't
for
go
me.
near them.
Doesn't work.
Same.
Just doesn't work.
Last season with the carousel of players coming up and out, as a reporter, that's like great fodder, right? Like is that like?
It was like a dream.
It was the dream, right? Like you had every week, you guys had a new story that was interesting. If it's the same guys, like 09 was the same guys. Everyone played 100 games. Like it's like, what do you write about? The Yankees are playing and they're still good.
Yeah, it was interesting and fun in a way that like makes me think that next year might just be like doing my first year on the beat all over again, because it will never be like that. I mean, it was tough initially because I went into the season with a lot of my ideas for stories and coverage really kind of mapped out, and I was kind of planning on working my way through the roster. And then every time I would like prepare a feature for someone, they would get an injury, but then I was able to write about guys like Nestor Cortez and, really of all the people who came up, I think Joe Harvey, who was very close to quitting baseball and is now, I believe, has been traded to the Rockies. His story I found really interesting. And then, Nestor's really just kind of wacky approach and the whole situation with Baltimore. I mean, my favorite thing about like Nestor's trajectory is that the Orioles thought they were going to be competitive in 2018. He sucked in his first 2 outings, and like 2 grand slams were like the best thing that could have happened to his career. It was just so many interesting stories where like the path to the show was not linear, and there were just so many new faces who were, just really excited to be there. It was awesome.
It was wild just because, I don't know, as baseball people, like, you see the way Nestor pitches. He's playing wiffle ball out there. And, I knew he was waived from the Orioles. And we looked at it the first day and we're like, what? Nestor's got to be, 27, 28? It's like, no, he's like young. He's
part of that is he looks old. He looks older than he is. He's opposite of you.
Latin Adam Sandler.
I don't subscribe to that.
I see it. When you look back, I just did the A-Rod talking hand. How weird was that?
Baseball.
Lindsey, when you look back, all the like you said, all the guys getting called up last year, and the Yankees really did have so many awesome stories. And I mean, I'll let you pick, and I don't know if one does jump out or not.
Sounded
but
like Nestor did. Sounded like Nestor did.
Well, no, I mean, Nestor was nice,
he's like
but
a
it's
wacky
Nestor.
lefty,
But like, I mean,
it's like up my alley.
But like, I mean, Gio Urshela is a guy that like
Right.
looked like he was done with baseball, and now he looks like an incredible third baseman. You could do some LeMahieu MVP stuff. The Cameron Maybin stuff. I mean, he was a journeyman that the Yankees paid what, $20K for him?
20K,
50?
yeah.
And he became like a heart of the team. Is there, now that you're outside of the season, is there one of those you look back at and you're like, that was pretty nuts? I mean,
Really, all of them.
Yeah.
For me, it's
No.
Gio.
Gio seems like the trump card.
It's so. I don't know because I didn't really. I think there's a difference for me between like Gio and DJ because I had watched a lot of DJ playing with Colorado, and then I kind of had an idea of who he was as a player, and I think a lot of Yankees fans had an idea like that, and then just to see this guy whose style and production I thought I was familiar with and had kind of a fluency in, just to become such a prolific hitter on this team, it was so interesting. Whereas Gio, I didn't really know what to expect. It was just so fun to watch him play third base. It was like a revelation, and it's just very cool that he was able to kind of get that done. But it's kind of like opposite sides of the coin, like DJ and Cameron Maybin. I thought I knew who they were as players, and then there were the guys like Mike Ford, Gio, guys who I didn't really know what to expect and who were just super impressive.
Yeah, I think the one bucket, like a lot of people say Talkin's their favorite story. And Talkin and Voit and Mike Ford are kind of similar. Where like they just weren't given a shot until really late. They were blocked and they weren't given a shot. So the fact that they succeeded is not like for us because we didn't know who they were, but for them, like if you listen to Voit or Talkin, like why is this a surprise? Like I hit. I've never been bad. That's why Gio, I think, is so crazy because he was given a shot in the MLB because his glove is so good, and he never hit. So the book was written, this guy's a glove, and then he's fucking insane with the bat. And like, where did this come from? And I think even Gio doesn't get to say what Talkman and Voit get to say. We're like, what? This is what I've done my whole life. Even Gio's like, I don't know. Like, I'm swinging harder now. So I think that's why that story to me is
That's the Marcus
insane.
Timms hitting approach. Swing harder.
Swing harder.
That's what Cameron Maybin said.
Smarter. Yep.
Yeah.
Damn. Is there any Yankee stuff? Maybe we do a little break and then we just talk music and TV and Lindsey will make fun of my taste.
There's probably more Yankee stuff, but we'll take a quick fake break. 1, 2, 3, break. And we're back from break. Talk about the Yankees and how sticky these passes are. Oh, you know what? You were talking. I'm not going. We're staying on Yankees because I had something.
Okay.
You told me this about DJ. You said he is a human do not disturb sign when he's not on the field. I don't know if you're.
I don't know if I said that, but it kind of makes sense.
You did, because the picture when he was on the plane and everyone was posing and he's just got his head turned, and you said that Ottavino was going to crack up.
Yes.
Because he just, and then we were talking to people the other day and they're like, DJ, it's not that he like doesn't have a personality or anything. It's just he is baseball. Like he shows up first. He watches film. Like a lot goes in. He doesn't wake up and play, although his hair would tell you that. He just kind of is like a lifer. Is that cool to see that it can be done ways? Like, are there, like Bernie Williams used to take naps and sleep. Like you get to see that stuff that I would be so interested in. Like who's the studier? Who just fucking goes out there and does it?
Who's the sleepy guy?
Is there a sleepy guy?
You know, it's the clubhouse that we're allowed in during media hours. We don't really see a lot of that. You know, I see
It's Edwin. Okay.
every single time
Edwin was the
we
sleepy
go
guy.
in, DJ is walking out with his bat, you know, kind of doing his like, I'm just going to work thing. Dee watches a lot of film. I am always really interested in guys' pregame routines, especially like pitchers, you know, like Tanaka takes very meticulous notes in a notebook. Ottavino kind of keeps a notebook as well. Like,
How do you know what Tanaka's writing about, though? Because it's probably in Japanese. It could be. He could just be writing a novel.
I asked him, and he kind of laughed at me and was like, "You can't ask that." But I was like, "Okay, just clarify if it's
Baseball
you know,
related.
if it's baseball or if it's mental." And he said it's kind of a mix of both. He, you know, he thinks about how he wants to approach a game, approach a lineup, and how he wants to feel mentally in doing that. And he's so private, and I think I drive him crazy by being like, can you tell me this thing that I know you're not going to say to me? But
he's got a sense of humor. Do you ever wish that you spoke Japanese? Because I wish I spoke Japanese because
Yes.
Tanaka is funny.
yes.
And that guy on Twitter translated like the whole conversation and his whole press conference. And I was like, dude, do this all the time because he's always making jokes. And I'm not privy to them. Same with like all the Spanish speaking players. I just wish I knew their language.
It is always very fun to me that Luis Severino and Masahiro Tanaka have a great like buddy relationship.
It's been since 2017
It's
too. They were just always next to each other. And some fans are so ignorant. They're like, how do they even talk at all? I'm like, come on, guys. Like, they're not like.
They just stare at each other,
Right.
frozen,
Right.
just
I mean,
pointing
it's-
at a baseball like cavemen.
It's the same with Gary and Masa. You know,
Right.
I know. It's like they speak a little English, you know? Like
just it's
they can do it.
yeah, like they can.
And even if you don't, like I went to visit my relatives in Italy, and they didn't speak a lick of English, or we didn't speak a lick of Italian, and we just played charades, and you can figure it out.
Yeah.
So
Fine.
that's what they do. I mean, that's what catcher and pitcher is. It's just a game of charades. Instead of like
That's
one is
actually
movie,
very-
two is
yeah.
this. It's just
We did.
you can use that.
We asked this to Jack Curry last year, and I'll give you a couple outs on this because it'll segue us to some taste stuff. But like, who on the Yankees would you say has good taste? It could be music, movies, outfits, or the question that I asked Jack Curry last there was who would be the one guy on the team that you would go to a concert with. I think he picked Romine. I think Romine was kind of the generic answer. I think he has pretty good musical taste, but
I like Zeppelin and old school stuff.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So I'll
So
throw that out there.
Who's the me? Good taste, likes good movies, likes
Ooh.
good music, and who's the Jake?
If you want to do a Jake bad
Mm-hmm.
taste, that's fine.
But I
Or
think
Jake taste.
I think they're all like you because they're all young guys. Like they're always playing radio hip hop.
Radiohead.
Yeah. I would. I mean, he's now retired, but like it's CC. You know,
Okay.
CC is like a movie and
Yeah.
TV fanatic. Like he and bullpen coach Mike Harkey, you know, are big on that. And like, I remember on CC's podcast, I think with Dee Dee and Aaron Hicks, he said something about his wife Amber like laying out his outfits, but he always
Yeah.
has like really great,
Yes.
really expensive outfits, and it's like
Ruko
It's very good.
Ruko dissed like CC style in like an early episode, and he's been living it down for
Yeah,
a while
paying
and like
for it
paying for it. And he's like, no, CC, you look good too.
Well,
You look good too."
that's the problem. It's not, in that case, it's not messing with CC. It's messing with
Amber.
Amber, and that's
Amber's
Yeah.
a goat.
Oh, I have a question. If you could put one guy's fashion sense onto another guy, who would you do?
Whoa. CC on Gardy.
Oh, that is congrats.
yeah.
Thank you.
That's basically
no,
Robin Big. Let's like CC and Gardner are just like a Robin Big show.
Probably
about
like-
Best friend.
Probably like Chapman and Gardy.
Oh, Chapman
Gardy.
swag on
Yeah.
Gardy.
Probably.
Brett Swag.
Yeah. I mean, Brett like he has like a Balenciaga backpack. You
Okay.
know, it's like I mean, CC comes through with his like Supreme
Right.
branded
Yeah.
luggage, and then Tommy Canley has his like Marvel luggage. But
Full of
you
Eagles
know,
jerseys.
Yeah.
Canley's got to be close to the Jake scale of taste.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say so.
Football. Loud.
Canley's a nut job. We need to get him on the show.
Scary.
Every time we hear him. If Canley and Chad Green have a conversation, how many words does Chad say?
I think there's kind of a misconception about
Ooh.
Tommy. I think he's a little bit more, this is going to sound insane, but a little bit more shy and maybe a little bit more reserved than one would think.
The introverted extrovert. I get
Kind
that.
of, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
he's very loud.
Yeah.
He's
what
very
about
loud.
Talkman and Chad? Because Talkman's a
I thought you
talker.
were going to say that Chad talked for a second. And
Yeah,
I was
we
like,
were like,
Chad does.
no, he
yeah.
doesn't.
Yeah, he does.
No.
We have good conversations. Fine.
Chad, I love Chad, but it's funny we give these personalities to these players, and sometimes I think we hit them like someone. One time we had a question, and it was if someone goes on a road trip, if the Yankees go on a long distance road trip, like what's their roles? And we were like, well, Chad's not talking, and someone that is from Chad's camp, I'll say, was like, yeah, Chad once went on a 16-hour road trip in the minor leagues and didn't say a word. I was like, yep, I mean that's obvious, but other times
I
we
can see it.
other times we pin personalities on
No,
people
it's
and
a
they're
fun-
like, no. That's
Well,
not right.
like I wouldn't say that Chad is like a guy who's like uncomfortable talking.
Okay.
You know, he's not like a he's not like a chatty Zach Britton type.
No, I just think if he
You
doesn't
know?
have anything to say, he just doesn't say anything.
Yeah, but it's. You
I have a
know,
lot of
he's-
friends like that from Livermore.
I think the good one. Oh, Bay Area stuff. Okay,
that's
see you
fun.
guys.
Just
See you guys later.
Butt out. We're gonna talk about
See you guys
Tracy and
later.
Livermore.
I think one of the fun ones. When we had a fan that asked like, what would the Yankees beach day barbecue look like? And it's like, who's on the grill? Who's playing yard games?
Yeah.
Who's like doing their own thing? Who's getting hit with waves in the ocean?
I would love to know who would organize the food and take the lead on that.
We had Gardy grilling, I think.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah,
And we had Talkman, Voigt, and Canely throwing a football. No matter where they were standing, they were throwing a football to each other. And then we had DJ playing whatever like skill game, be it like bocce ball or horseshoes or ping pong, and just like crushing.
Yeah, I could actually.
And he's
see
not
that.
even socializing with the party. He's just like, "Who's next? Come on, like I'm playing."
This sounds pretty good.
Okay, great. We're the best.
Confirmed.
Confirmed. The jury rests.
Yeah, I could see it.
Gotta stop using that phrase. That's not a real phrase.
We've been saying it all
Wait,
weekend.
you said the jury rests?
Yeah,
We've been
it's a new
saying-
phrase we've been working
I,
on.
I think it needs
Just
some
like
more
if
chopping.
if the jury was bored and they're like,
Or we need to write.
I'm
We're
definitely
resting.
done.
we're tapping out.
Yeah, this case sucks.
Music?
So, no.
I'm so scared.
Music?
Yeah. 'Cause
Well,
I
when
wanna know.
we talked, we were talking about Connor Oberst and how you and I both like sad, slow music. Is there anyone on the Yankees? Like, you can't even do that in a clubhouse. Even I wouldn't.
No. I don't know.
Tanaka just listens to his wife's album on repeat.
So good. No, I don't know who would be into like
Have you started
sad girl
listening?
music like that.
Have you started listening to Phoebe Bridgers yet?
Of course. Like
Okay.
Better Oblivion Community Center was my number
Yeah.
one
But have
played
you gone
on
to?
Spotify.
Have you gone to? Because you hadn't listened to Boy Genius last I talked to
Yeah,
you.
it's still not for me.
Me neither. But I like her solo album
It
so much.
it doesn't make sense cosmically that I would not be like all in on Boy
Boy
Genius
Genius. Yeah, that's why I
and
thought
Phoebe
you were.
Bridgers, but I am like extremely all in on Better Oblivion Community Center. But yes, that's.
What are your
That's how
thoughts?
it
Jake?
What did you think about Lizzo Truth Hurts?
I heard it a lot. I heard it a lot.
Jake's musical taste is Lorde, Billie Eilish,
Okay.
Lizzo,
Okay.
Red Hot Chili Peppers,
Oh.
and sometimes he goes on a Gwen Stefani kick, no doubt.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's it.
Good music.
That works.
So why'd you lay it out like that?
They're all similar.
Yeah. I like
Bro.
what I like.
Yeah, that's true. That guy's gonna get a cup of water. Oh nope, just a candy, and that's good podcasting.
What
Do you think if Gardner is out and Cece's out
Okay.
and Dellin leaves?
Yeah.
It's three mainstays, like
Yes.
8 years, 6 years, whatever. Do you think that changes the dynamic of the clubhouse, or do you think that Judge and Glaber and I don't even know who else, like Voigt, are there
Paxton, Happ,
Paxton
you
Happ,
know.
are they their own, like, the bond stays the same and the vibe stays, or are
mean,
they really influential?
Everyone really appreciates CC and Gardy, but I think, I had a very long conversation about this with Judge toward the end of the year that didn't really make it to print. But, he does see this leadership as something that he naturally really strives for. And I know he spent a lot of time just seeing how CC and Gardy approach things, seeing how they, handle problems and having hard conversations and whatnot. And it's very, very, very clear to me that he is going to be the next leader of the clubhouse. And I
Right.
think even if it's only Gardy who comes back, obviously, even if Gardy does come back, I still see Judge as really being one of those.
It might be like
Leaders.
fully step in now.
Yes. And yeah, I think there are enough veteran guys. You got veteran guys in the bullpen, you got veteran
Yeah.
guys in the rotation. Glaber is like about to turn 23 and acts like he's
Really?
like he has the maturity of like a 32-year-old. So
no
it
idea.
just makes it very difficult to
Glaber's
remember.
Glaber's amazing. Like,
He's a smart
I
kid.
marvel at how young and how smart he is, and take away like being good at baseball, just like learning English, dealing
Yes.
with being traded to the Yankees, going up the system, the press, the media. Like, he's so, and he's not too good. He's not like 100% polished where you're like, this is fake, this isn't who it is. It's very natural. Like,
Yeah.
it just seems like this is good. So
Yeah,
credit to
he's
his parents.
He's a nice, smart kid. Obviously, his dad is a very enthusiastic Glaber Torres fan.
Yeah, he DM'd me mad. He DM'd me mad at me once. I
Really?
think we're cool now.
That's good.
But he
Yeah,
was like-
I mean, like Glaber got upset with me over a tweet about like misinterpreting something or whatever, and
Oh yeah, I remember that.
yeah, and I
The
like
marriage proposal.
yeah, And, you know, he saw the video. He saw that, like, it looked weird in context. But, you know, I apologized. And he was like, you know, I don't want to send people to harass you or whatever. You know, I just want to make it clear that, like, this is something that I care about. And then was, you know, completely kind and professional after that. You know, I think things like that, you know, like if you see a player like sniping at me, I think a lot of fans think that there's just like going to be bad blood forever, and there probably is for some fans and some reporters, and maybe, you know, maybe Glaber likes me less or trusts me less, you know, but he was still extremely professional, you know.
Yeah.
And
I just had to get that out.
Yeah, and it's, you know, I mean, at the end of the day, he's a 22-year-old in a high pressure situation. I wouldn't have been shocked or offended if he had, you know, just kind of been like, go away. But he's a professional, and he carries himself like a professional.
I was so dumb when I was 22.
Just beyond.
Like, so dumb.
Beyond dumb.
Isn't it nuts?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
That's why when we tweet, and the majority of the people that tweet during games there's a lot of young people out there, and I said this to someone the other day, and I was like, when I was your age, I was irrationally angry, and I like personally disliked players. So I understand half of what you're doing. I'm just so glad Twitter wasn't around.
Yes.
And I wasn't putting like all this young irrational hate out there. And I feel bad that they don't know that. But like in 10 years, you're going to want to like really delete those or just because it's like it's just part of being young, and Glaber doesn't show that side at all.
Yeah, it's, you know, like if my feelings about the, you know, like the last great few 49ers teams, I was like 21, 22, 23.
Right.
It was a very emotional thing for
Right.
me. Like, you know, they lost that Super Bowl, and I was mean to the people.
Yeah.
I was with.
Sure.
I was mean to my friends. I told them to go the hell. You know, it's like I am glad that those thoughts are not on the internet.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm sure I tweeted plenty of them, but I like wiped my tweets because I probably did like
everyone does it.
you know, like Kenny Williams a stupid shitbag or whatever
Yeah.
for.
Yeah.
Lindsey.
It's tough.
Yeah, if like I mean I probably would have had a thread. I'm like just
bag.
like I hate Ian Kennedy.
Yeah.
But I'm good now because I've
cleared that up.
matured.
What's your favorite road press box and your least favorite road press box?
That's a good question.
Thank you, Lindsay.
Some are being moved on like the third base line now, which is kind of shitty.
The Reds are being moved. The Blue Jays moved theirs like truly like up by the left field foul pole. Like I don't want to go to Toronto anymore. The clubhouse is small. I can't see the game.
Do you know that changes stats?
Does it?
Yeah, I just read this whole article. You know who wrote it? Someone from the Astros that took over. He's linked to the scandal or whatever. Someone sent me this article, and he's like one of these super smart dudes that thinks of things, and you're like, what the fuck? And he's like, the line drive rate in stadiums where the press box is 75 to 100 feet in the air, you have to decrease it by 2% because it looks like a line drive to the scorekeeper because he's higher up. And if they're lower, they actually know what's a line drive and what's not a line drive. So you have to adjust it for the press box thing. And I was like, what the
I don't like
hell? Makes sense if you're super high up. It
get
can look
it.
like a live line drive. Like
No, I
it
mean-
makes sense, but I'm like, damn.
Like last year, there were like a couple plays like Gardy made at the, you know, foul line, and I just couldn't see. And it's
Right.
just it's hard because when you guys are seeing things on TV and when you guys get a very close view, and you know someone like tweets at me and is like, what happened with that changeup? I'm like, I don't know.
Wish I could
Just send
tell
them
you.
my
I
way.
don't know. All I can see is Bo Bichette's hair and
Flo
you know,
Bichette.
and- yeah, exactly. But he's a big fan of horse and mane
Horse and
shampoo
mane?
conditioner, which
Wow.
I am as well.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Ad. Hashtag
Yeah,
ad.
Hashtag ad.
Buy some at Roosevelt's. Code JOHNBINO. 20% off.
You know. Let me think about favorite road press box.
Do you eat during
Honestly,
games?
Philly.
Philly?
Philly. yeah.
Philly's whole
Philly.
park is nice. I like it.
Whew. Philly's park is so nice, and the press box view is beautiful of downtown Philly. Not an oxymoron, and they have a nice they have like a lot of really good food, and they also have like a big, you know, like ice cream thing where you can get like scoops.
Oh.
And they have some really good stuff. So it's sad to me that I'm not going to be going to Philly very often, but that's the one for me, I think.
Next year, not this year, 2021.
Probably.
So
Right.
just, get excited for going to Philadelphia in 2021.
Yeah,
Don't plan on anything between now and then.
just
Thing every
put it in your calendar.
early 30 woman aspires to do is to go to Philadelphia.
Yes.
You're telling the right person.
I'm glad you can understand.
Where are you a coffee junkie?
No.
What would
Yeah.
what would you call yourself on the coffee scale?
I would call myself an uninformed coffee snob.
Ooh,
Because
okay.
when I lived in
like
San
that.
Francisco, I only went to 4-barrel blue bottle.
Right.
The thing is, I don't actually like the taste of coffee. I just
Okay.
need
Need
its
it.
caffeine,
Right.
and so it's like
It's a functional thing.
I don't drink Dunkin'. I really prefer to avoid Starbucks, but we'll
I
do
hate
it.
Starbucks.
But it's like I consider myself a coffee snob because I only want to drink very well-made coffee because otherwise it's intolerable to me.
Yeah, but I think it's all like what you get used to.
And it's also just it's nice. It's mostly just a road city activity. You know, if I wake up and I don't have to be at the ballpark until 4, it's an easy way to get myself up and get out of bed and go somewhere, and work somewhere that's not in my hotel room.
You can drink Red Bull like Tommy Canley. 6 Red Bulls a day. Was that the story?
I would lose my mind.
Yeah.
I would lose
I
my
think-
mind.
I think maybe he was.
What's an art museum we all need to go to?
And stay tuned after the break. Okay, we're back. What's an art museum that everyone should go to if they're in this city? If you guys don't know, Lindsey frequents art museums.
I do.
It was something because you get to travel a lot. Mm-hmm. And then I have a follow-up question I just thought of that I'll forget after you answer this, but
Perfect.
maybe I won't.
The Chicago Art Institute,
Okay.
definitely, and Houston's Art Museum. I really, really like. Those are probably the best non-New York museums I went to. I've talked about it a lot. The Salvador Dali standalone museum in St. Petersburg is awesome.
Okay.
Those are my 3 recommendations.
All right. What kind of art are we liking? Contemporary, modern, historical,
Always-
portraits, landscape?
Always Impressionism and Post-Impressionism, pre-Cubism. I've never really liked art, but
So
when I was
you're
a
a
kid,
Manet.
yes. Well, no, not Man. I don't like Manet. I like Monet. As a kid, I was.
Well, Manet and Monet. My sister who listens, she's very into art. She used to manage a couple art museums. She has a double art master's from Syracuse or some ish. Loser. Renee, I love you.
Hi, Renee.
Manet and Monet, isn't one portraits and one's not pointillism or something, but
Impressionism.
landscapes,
Yeah.
impressionism?
Yeah.
Which one's which?
Manet is portraits.
Manet
I
is
don't
portraits.
particularly-
Got it.
I saw a Manet exhibit in Chicago, and I didn't really love it.
You give it 1 star on Yelp and say that place
I mean,
sucks.
it's fine. I mean, the thing that is really hard for me about learning art without any point of reference is understanding why this shit that looks stupid to me was important at its time.
Right.
I do not give a shit about Renaissance painting. I don't give a shit about photorealism, blah blah blah. But when you okay, here's the thing. I'm a nerd.
Yeah,
I'm a nerd, and I
sure.
need to understand things, and otherwise I can't make sense of it. And so I need to understand that
Cesspit, guys.
Impressionism is kind of a byproduct of photorealism no longer needing to be necessary because of the rise of photography.
Whoa.
And so it's there's just a bunch of art 101 shit that I really need to learn and I don't know.
I have opposite art taste of you. I like landscape a lot. And I
do too.
I like rural. You ever seen the movie Hoosiers? You better say yes.
No.
You haven't seen the movie Hoosiers?
No.
Why not?
I only watch
You'll cry.
I don't want to cry.
They make a 20-year-old actress have a love affair with Gene Hackman?
Hackman, yeah.
Hackman sounds like a terrible last name when I
Yeah,
really think about
it's
it. So that's nice, make her date a 60-year-old man. No, Hoosiers is great, but I always want to find art.
Not the best sell for Hoosiers, I'll be honest.
Well, I knew she would really like that part. I want to find art that looks like Hoosiers, but so if anyone's out there, I like rural Americana.
Yeah, I have become a big fan of I think it's called pointillism.
Pointillism?
Paul Signac. It's kind of it's
Isn't
it's
that People in the Park or whatever? What's that
yes.
famous painting?
Seurat. Yeah.
Let's fucking
yes.
go.
But no, that's really my thing. Is I like nice looking landscapes and whatnot.
If we could set up you and Cece going to an art museum, I think that would be my favorite piece. Because I think Cece, there's some stuff in an art museum that you look at and you're just like, come on.
CC tried like the
And
banana.
I think he'd call that out.
Like the banana
Like
on
the
wall that
banana
sold?
thing
Yes,
that's
no,
gone
I mean,
around.
yeah, like
Someone just bought a banana duct tape to a wall for like 150 grand, or was it millions?
120, I think, yeah.
120 grand. You have to replace the banana and the duct tape yourself, and then he just ate it. So it was really just like a
Like, shout out
money laundering.
Shout out New York Magazine art critic Jerry Saltz for thinking that shit is terrible. Jerry Saltz is like the art critic of the people, and like the only reason why a lot of this shit is interesting to me.
Do you listen to Ali Glazer's? Is it Ali Glazer? The girl from I'm talking about. They did Broad City.
No, I do not.
You know that show though, right?
Yeah.
So you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
She has an art podcast that my girlfriend listened to. She was an art major or whatever. And she had one guy on. Thanks for tuning in to Talkin Yanks, by the way.
Yeah.
So she had one, as we talk about
Welcome.
art. She had, anyway, she had this artist on that was making a mockery of art. Like he would do dumb shit. Like it was like a bicycle upside down on the pole or something. And the whole thing was like, he's in on the joke, but people would get really mad not knowing that.
Jack Curry's over there.
Yeah, he's
Yes,
Jack.
Network's Jack Curry.
Hi, Jack.
He's ignoring me.
Is he wearing
Jack.
a Cam from Modern Family shirt?
Yes.
That's the next phase of my life. I'm not ready for that yet.
No.
Anyway, my question was, do you like art museums so much that you like wish that they would, if MLB is expanding 2 cities and you have to choose them by the art museum you want to go to, is there a city that you're like, put the team there because I've always wanted to go to that art museum, but I'm not going to go out of my way to go to that art museum?
I mean,
Calgary.
LA, Chicago, New York already have teams.
Right.
You know?
Okay.
Boston's art museum, I really liked the curate. You know, it's like
You don't think like Oklahoma might have like a real nice art museum for you?
I think so. I think probably in like smaller towns where it's more difficult to build, you know, substantive or substantial
Grandeur.
collections.
Yeah.
It's interesting to showcase things like local artists and whatnot. But no, in terms of like the like European floofy bullshit that I like, you know, LA, Chicago, New York, Boston, it's already there.
It's all there. So don't
What?
expand MLB.
Why did you point at me when you said floofy bullshit?
Fluffy.
I was not.
She was mentally
I was-
thinking
I
fluffy
was,
bullshit, which is one of your many nicknames.
It felt kind of like a reflex.
No, this was more a reflex at me. It
All right.
was like kind of
I
funny.
think.
Next combo has to be Scoot Life.
Ooh, have you
Yeah.
been scooting around San Diego?
Are you a lime person, a bird
lime.
person, or
Really?
Lift?
I mean, it not Lyft, but it kind of depends on which city I'm in. I think Baltimore mostly has lime.
Oh, okay.
But maybe they mostly have bird. I
I'm a
can't
Lyft
remember.
person right now, but I don't want to be, Lindsay.
I'm a bird.
I want to be a bird or a lime.
So here's my question. The area around here, Lime has figured out how to do speed restrictions.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
bullshit.
Yeah, so it was like the other day I like came in hot. I was like rolling
Yeah.
at like 13 miles an hour, just
Yep.
like fucking cruising down the sidewalk, and then suddenly the scooter like comes to like this slow halt,
Yeah.
and it's showing like 2.5, and I look and it's like this area. So no, I have not been scooting here as much as I would have liked.
Yeah,
But,
we
like,
did that,
in
and Jake and I just thought we
Baltimore-
were dumb.
We were like, oh, let's do a cool video by Petco.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like, oh, yeah, we'll come like cruising in on the scooters. And we were in a restricted area.
It sucks.
so Bill's holding the
sucks.
camera and we're coming in at
It
2 miles
sucks.
per hour.
Yeah.
Not good contact.
No,
Great
I mean,
content.
in Baltimore where like the sidewalks are really wide, and if there's like not many people on it, you can get some damn speed there.
How funny is it? I was saying this like it's so fun. I did it in Austin. I'm new to scooter life, so I still like it's a ride for me.
Yeah.
I very much enjoy it. Like I want a scooter everywhere. I forget that you have to pay for it, but when you think about like, hey, maybe Manhattan can implement this, you'd be
Oh
like,
my
oh no
God.
way. That's how
No.
fucking crazy
Be a
New York City
nightmare.
is.
Awful.
A lot of
No.
people listening probably have never done it. Go to a city and
It's-
get a scooter.
I actually do.
Oh, Jack
like-
Curry just lifted up a big bag of Swedish fish, Jake.
You're kidding.
No, I swear to God. Like a huge bag of Swedish fish.
I mean, living in San Francisco made me kind of, it made me deeply suspicious of those like tech bro type of things like
Sure.
scooters. But then once you start riding them and you realize that like in cities where public transportation is lacking, or you just don't really want to take cabs and Lyft everywhere, like it's a good option to get places quickly without
Like short distance,
with a
like
shorter carbon footprint. I know that sounds corny.
Wow.
But
Well,
like,
no, get rid of
was.
cars in cities. That's what Paris is going to do.
I'm
Copenhagen's
ready.
all over
I'm
there.
ready.
But now with the bike shares and scooter shares, like you can totally do it in smaller cities.
I know
Do it.
my burgeoning passion is,
To rid cars in cities.
take cars out of Manhattan.
Nice.
Yeah.
Take car. It'd be cool. I mean, like a lot of the old cities. Like I was in Paris 2 years ago. It's like not
Wow.
built
Okay, we
for
get it.
cars.
Oh
went to
yeah,
Paris.
cool.
Oh
Get
yeah,
it.
my
Big
dad
flex.
took me. Well,
Oh, okay, we get it.
I hated being in Paris. I went to go see Normandy, but we had to do a night in Paris because that's where the airports are. I was just show me where all the death happened.
Ooh.
That's
It was terribly sad.
I don't want to brag either, but when we started doing this full time and we weren't making any money, I used to charge scooters. So
Yeah.
does that
Wow.
impress you?
Do you want to ask him
kinda
questions
does.
about the
Yeah,
backside
do you
of
have
the
any
charging scooter
back-end-
industry?
Talkin' Yanks.
I really kind of support any kind of cottage industry like that.
Do you know
like
where cottage industry, according to Michael Kay?
that really makes sense. I mean, you guys kind of became your own like weather patterns this season.
It's heavy.
Bill, can you put that in our new Twitter bio?
I'll write that down.
We are our own weather
Weather
patterns. Thank you.
Jack, if you're watching this, I see you taking a selfie.
Jack, bring over the
Jack
bag of
Curry,
Swedish
No.
fish.
please come over here.
Oh, can you actually hear us?
No. No.
Okay, here it
oh,
comes.
God.
Wait,
Don't bring
Bill,
the
can you
Swedish
the
get
fish.
Jack
the
Curry
fourth
is
mic out.
approaching.
It's right there, Jake.
Get the fourth mic
comes.
ready. Jack Curry's walking
I
over.
see this man.
Jack Curry's
wearing
coming.
the Cam from Modern Family shirt.
Wow.
I feel like
That's
I'm.
pretty good. It's
I
pretty
feel like
good.
I'm calling the Masters. Here
pretty good.
comes Jack Curry.
Hello,
He
Jack Curry.
approaches the 18th green.
We saw you had a big bag of Swedish fish.
That's how I get introduced.
Yeah. He's addicted to Swedish fish, and it's like
Nothing
illegal.
about my career or the fact that I had a
Well,
best-selling
we
book
also-
with David Cohen,
we
or
also-
I was the first guest on your show.
Yeah.
Swedish fish is what I get.
Yeah, Swedish fish.
No,
We also like your shirt a lot.
Thank you.
Jack, I have like a problem with Swedish fish. Like, we don't have to deep dive into my problems like we normally do when you come on, but like Swedish fish is that's a no-fly zone, man.
Jake, Heather Smith, who is the most important person at Yes right now, logistically. I'll see if I can sneak you some Swedish
No,
fish.
dude.
No, yes, yeah, I'll do it.
Not-
you're enabling
Not
him?
Yes.
Yeah, not.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't want to interrupt the Lindsey Adler interview. Sorry.
It's Bill.
Bill.
We're having a good Talking Yanks podcast where we're now for the last 20 minutes talked about art and scooters in cities.
I went for a run this morning. Those scooters were intriguing to me.
Okay, we'll do a video. We'll get you on a scooter.
I saw your video.
We get
Yeah.
it.
And I
figured
like
out.
your shirt, by the way.
Thanks, Jack. Roosevelt's.
I heard.
Product code Jambino.
I have to go on the website. Maybe pick up a couple of holiday presents.
Do you have any questions for Lindsey Adler?
Lindsey Adler is an impressive writer, and I'm impressed with the way she goes about her business. There are some people in the business who want to follow the pack. She doesn't follow the pack.
Yeah.
So you asked me if I had a question. Instead, I'm going to pay her a compliment. She carves out her own path, which if you want to stand out in this business, that's a good thing to do.
It's hard. We were told,
I really appreciate that, especially considering the source, but I hate positivity. So now please say something that I do terribly.
So now put her down.
Yeah.
Oh, let's talk about minor threat then.
Okay, cool.
All right.
I heard Ian Mackay has been like hanging out at like DC public libraries, so I'm gonna spend some time in DC probably.
We I think building on what you said, Jack. I'll be professional now that you're here. No, is
Okay,
we
so what?
we
I
talk
don't- I
we
don't
ta-
command
we-
that?
we talked on a Yankees podcast. We've talked art, scooters, music. We didn't really get to TV. Maybe we'll get there.
No.
But it's because of what Jack said. Because we want the people to follow you. Because what you're doing for the Athletic and for Yankees is like awesome. And it's sorry.
Thank you for.
I'll put
hurting
you-
me.
I'll
I'm
put
not
you
going to
down.
compliment you.
I'll put
Thank
I'll put
See,
you down
you're
in
the
a
only one I
minute.
trust.
Yeah. No. We're
Put you
done with
down in a
that.
minute.
I enjoyed your Q&A
Thank
with
you.
Matt Blake.
It was
Matt
fun.
Bly.
It's good,
Matt Blake.
good intel, good stuff.
Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah, I think it'll be really interesting.
All right. We're gonna grab you later, and then Lindsay will come interview
Yeah, I
you.
didn't want to intrude on Lindsay's interview, so I'm
No, of
going to
course.
depart.
It's an open party. That's why we
Well,
requested to be right by Yes, so we can just bother you guys.
You guys have come a long way in a year.
It's been crazy.
I told
It's been-
John Flaherty if they gave out an award for, probably don't know the band In Excess, do you?
In
I
excess.
do.
In
Devil,
Excess,
Devil Inside.
In Excess had a song called New Sensation.
Oh.
If there was a
Oh, yeah, I know that
media
song.
new sensation,
We get that award.
John Boy Media.
Bill, can you
Yes.
put that on the Twitter as
What's
well?
the?
Yeah.
I know you know the answer to this, so don't act like you don't know
Okay.
the answer. What are the most views one of your videos have received?
Across all platforms?
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, you're not going to like the answer to this. It's Jake modeling in a belly shirt.
No.
No
suites.
way. More
Yeah,
than one of the
because-
Astros
Because
breakdowns?
Unilad put it on Facebook, so it got 10 million views on Facebook.
I'm technically an international
10
model.
million views?
Yeah.
yeah, him modeling.
Are you
Was
looking
this-
like a dumbass?
I'm an
Yeah.
That's great.
international model.
Okay.
Other
would be
than
the phrase I
other
use.
than that, it's probably the Astros one or when Adrian Hauser threw up before a game. That's my most viewed one on YouTube.
We cover it all.
Yeah, which really brings the spectrum, you know.
Good stuff. All
Bad,
right.
bad modeling, Hauser and.
I was not expecting that answer.
Yeah.
Did you turn that into anything, young man? Did you turn that into a...
You're looking at it.
I mean,
They're getting paid to wear clothes now.
a little it's more than... Okay, that's not bad. That's something.
I'm getting there. I'm building. I don't know. I'm so actually kind of scared. Did you see? I'm kind of a singer now too.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Don't listen.
Don't look it up. I did a. Do you know
Yeah.
J. Cole?
No.
Come on, dude.
I know your music.
Do you
guy.
know who Juice WRLD is?
Yeah.
Did you
RIP.
know who he was before
RIP.
yesterday?
I didn't.
No.
Aha.
No.
I was out to dinner on Saturday night. In fact, with Joel Sherman, I was talking about Juice WRLD. So
I
there
thought
you
you
go.
were with Juice WRLD. I did a Garrett J. Cole remix of Workout.
Where is it?
Twitter.
It's on
but
Twitter.
I'm gonna
Don't
find it.
listen. Avoid it. But it's good.
But I mean, that got like 100,000 views. So could you say I'm a singer model? I don't know.
Yeah.
DJ?
No.
Throw
I'll let
DJ
you
in there?
decide.
DJ.
I'll let you decide. But
And I think I'm going to go get some Swedish fish.
Yeah. Yeah. Throw some this way.
Nice talking
Thanks
to you
for coming
guys.
over.
Lindsay, sorry for stampeding into your
no.
interview,
No.
but
Very
I paid
pleased
you
to
at least
see
3
you.
compliments.
Yeah.
So.
yeah,
I appreciate that. I will absorb them uncomfortably.
we'll bring her down back. We'll
Yeah.
See you
bring her
guys
back down
later.
to earth
Yeah.
quick.
Thanks,
We'll see you,
Jack.
Jack.
Bye, Jack.
Thank you. Don't bring the Swedish fish over, please. Lindsay, sorry about that guy.
Ugh, what a nuisance.
Is the Yes
Is that
Network
man
crew?
bothering you?
Is the Yes Network crew just the night? They've been so nice to us. Like Jack, Cone, Kay, Ruko.
Yeah, they're all great.
They're all like
They're all
so
great.
nice. And we were told that like, hey, they might be standoffish, and it's like they've been so nice to us.
No, they're fun.
Do you have
All right.
any questions for us?
I was just gonna say that.
Jake specifically?
Yes.
What does your mom think about your career
All of it?
path?
So it turns out, and I'll go heavy on the podcast. My dad's a silly guy, big Yankees fan, blah blah blah. Connect some dots, same nose. My mom, over recent years, I've realized a lot of my silly side has come from her. God, I shouldn't. No, I won't say it
Your
on here.
sister's listening.
I gotta run. No, my sister would laugh at it too, but I don't know if my mom wants me sharing that story. I'll share quick. One of her coworkers, I went to a happy hour thing, and the guy was retiring and he had cancer, so he was passing away. So pretty heavy thing to bring your son to while he was visiting town. My mom told the story in front of me that her and this guy, and the guy was this most fun-loving guy, blah blah blah. He was so happy I came, like he's an awesome dude. And my mom starts telling the story. She goes, "Oh yeah, me and this guy used to get some great laughs in the office. We used to go over to this there used to be this office closet where they'd have all the supplies, and it was big enough that you could go in there. And they used to go in there. They'd close the doors and they'd start banging on the walls and pretend like they were hooking up. So that's my mom.
Yeah.
Love
That's
you,
it.
Mom. Hope you're listening.
Wow. So have you
So
turned your...
she kind of gets all this.
Okay.
She
that's
kind of
great.
gets all
That's
this.
great.
Yeah.
No,
I think she gets it
honestly-
with like oh Jakey.
Yeah. I mean,
I-
she's seen this developing.
Yes. But
She's-
I think it's always great when it's like there's like a silly or, potentially damaging quality like that silliness that you can actually harness and, make it
Trying to.
Do both.
honor it in a
Trying
sense.
to. No, I think the bigger thing that she's not as surprised as that by I used to waste my days on SportsCenter. Like I've always just been a sports junkie. Like when they would only play one episode, I'd watch the 4 or 5 episodes in a row. And she, since this has kind of become a thing, she's been like, I thought that was going to be really bad for you. It turns out it's kind of okay.
Linda was
So-
very weary of me for a while.
Should be.
I would
still
I would
weary
just
of
get
you.
Jake drunk and make him do videos with me.
Yeah.
And cut.
Moms are nervous about that.
Yeah.
I hate that.
How did your mom feel about your job?
I don't really have a relationship with her, so I don't know.
All right.
Hopefully positively.
Hopefully. She a baseball fan?
No.
We did this conversation last time. Is your grandpa
Probably. Yes, he was.
baseball fan?
It was. I went out there immediately following the ALCS and spent 2 weeks with him in the hospital, and we were able to watch the World Series and all that stuff, and
awesome.
have a lot of my cousins, and it was great, and it was nice. And he told like all of the nurses that I write about the Yankees. So then I just had like, I was going through this like very traumatic emotional experience, and I had nurses coming up and being like, "Oh my God, that home run!" And I'm like, "Yes,
reel it down.
but also
Calm
no,
down. Yeah.
yes,
This
but
is
also no."
fun, but
Yeah, so that was nice. I very much appreciated the World Series going 7 games, so that I could have all of that, and also that, in a sense, I could have a focus and a distraction.
Yeah, that's
So,
nice. Yeah.
It's nice.
beauty of baseball.
My grandma was my grandma, my great grandma. My great grandma never left the house because she was they lived by the beach. So everyone would go to the beach for the day. We lived like 5 houses away. And if it was a Yankee day game, I'd come back from the beach at 1 and just be me and my Nana watching games. So like that's like was my childhood from like 10 to 15 or whatever. That was cool.
Yeah, my grandpa had like weekend season tickets down the third baseline at Candlestick.
Nice.
So, yeah.
You ever watched old clips from Candlestick? I asked my dad, like, this
Oh
was
my
real
God,
life?
it's
Like
insane.
this, it just, you hit a pop-up and it was like a fucking merry-go-round, like carnival act.
Yeah, I went to pretty much every final 49ers home game over the last 3 seasons there, and it was like I would just bring a blanket. You know, I never saw a baseball game there, but I can't imagine it.
The wind would move the ball more than like hitting a catwalk. Like, it was nuts.
Do the Niners have a chance to win it all?
Just shut up.
Okay. That
Shut up.
was
Just
I'm
shut
not
up.
getting
Shut
into
up.
this.
Lindsey Adler
All right,
of the
Lindsey Adler,
Athletic.
thank you for sitting with
At
us.
Lindsey Adler
Yes, I think
on
so.
Twitter.
Yes.
And
Do you
go-
want people to follow you on the gram and stuff? Are we trying to
that's
pump
fine.
that
I
up?
don't care.
Okay.
Do you have a favorite Yankee Twitter fan that interacts with you that you want to you want to make their day right now?
That's
You can just say no.
Probably Hoodie Glaber.
Wow.
I knew it was going to be him because we always shout him out.
Shout out to Hoodie
Hoodie
Glaber
Gang's
and
good.
his wristband
Yeah.
That was awesome.
thread. Also,
People stole that from him and like wrote articles and didn't credit him, and he was like, it's okay, it's just cool. And it's like, nah,
No,
man,
man.
like you did a lot of work on that.
dude, that was impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, like I'm in there every day and I didn't notice that shit. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? I knew that Gary had like a quarterbacking
Yeah.
armband, but yeah. Anyway, so it was fun. Also, I think Emily, whose display name used to be Luke Voigt's chain supplier. That was a good one too. So,
That is good.
White
Yeah.
chains.
That is good. Do you have anything else to plug? Just like get the Athletic?
yeah.
Do you have
I
a
mean,
holiday
please-
deal or something? Promo code Adler. Cisco Adler
we
told me
probably
that.
will.
You're
I
a big
would-
Cisco Adler fan? Do you think you represent your name well? Do you know who that is?
No.
He sings the choruses to Swayze songs. Baby, will you be my Corona and lime?
I didn't know that.
She was buzzing all over me. That song. Yeah, that's him. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh no. No, Jack. It wasn't a joke. Oh, that was too packed with Swedish fish. Thanks, Jack Curry.
And thank you, Lindsey Adler.
Thank you, Lindsey
Thank you
Adler.
guys.
Awesome.
Have fun.
We're out. Oh, go Yanks. Tell them, Grams.
Go Yankees.